Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CoinGeek Weekly Livestream. I am your host, Mr. Kurt Wuckert Jr., rocking live from sunny South Florida, produced entirely from sunny South Florida here with the producer rocking and rolling from Boca Raton. We're rocking here from Delray Beach. I'm wearing my tactical Hawaiian tropical today to keep it super real. Everybody, if you could like, subscribe, hit the alert bell, let your friends know that we are going to be live and taking questions from the troll box for maybe a little more than an hour. We got 3 guests today, and all of them are talkers. So I think you need to prepare yourselves. You need to clear your mind, take a couple of cleansing breaths, and prepare yourselves for a supernatural level of engagement here. So 2 of them are guests that have been on for years, frankly. They come on once a quarter or a couple times a year, and we got Bryan Daugherty and Greg Ward will be on from Smart Ledger to talk about the stuff they're up to, but they're bringing in one of their associates. I think is probably the best way to put it, but he's a guy working on all kinds of really cool stuff, experience in the blockchain space, and bringing some really cool stuff on a new project for the music industry. So his name is Frank Nitty, a hip-hop rap industry legend, if you know your stuff, and he'll be talking to us about some of the cool stuff they're bringing to the blockchain. But before that, we need to thank our sponsors. We have Rockwallet this week. We have Champions TCG as well. The comment of the day will receive a free deck of cards from the Champions TCG team directly to your Handcash wallet. And, of course, all of you people should be using your Rockwallet to do your exchanging and non-custodial management of your Bitcoin and other assets. Are you a stablecoin wonk? Well, you're going to want to keep it stable in your Rockwallet as well. So again, live. So we will be taking live questions from the troll box. So be sure to fill the box with your questions, and also check my pinned post over on X where my latest article is pinned. I talk quite a bit about stores of value because a lot of people accidentally got rich, and then a few people got purposely rich in the last couple of bull runs as well. But I talk a little bit about what to do with your money once you've created it. Like, hey, has anybody thought about investing in local small business or local real estate or some of these other things? You get a lot of people that are real good at trading meme coins and trying to roll profits into the next thing going on Solana until the network breaks, and then, hey, where'd my coins go? I lost everything on pump.fun. But so we talk a little bit about, or I talk about rather, some of the other ways that you can store value in other places. I talk about really conservative stocks, things like AT&T, moving your stuff from NVIDIA. If you've made like 30,000x on NVIDIA stock, hey, maybe you should be looking at moving something into old school telecoms. I also talk about things like Swiss timepieces, conservative real estate investment, and even local small business. Local small business owners could use a good investor if you're sitting on a wad of cash that you're not sure what to do with, and like your favorite pizza place might want to expand. That could be somebody worth talking to about doing business. So check out my article, check out the pinned post on X, and would love your questions, comments, and whatever on that. So we are going to cut to our ad, and we're going to be right back with our guests, who I have a feeling we're going to want to go a little long with today. So I'm going to not talk too much about myself or my own big ideas. I'm going to make space for the delightful people that we have coming up next. So Mr. Producer, let's get that commercial queued up, and we will be right back. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Bryan and Greg, you guys have been on probably 5-6 times between the both of you. I don't know that you need a huge introduction, but we got Bryan, chairman of Smart Ledger. We got Greg, co-founder, Smart Ledger, lead dev, and you got VoltronMusic hoodie on, so I think that's what we're talking about today. And our new guest this week, we got Frank Nitty, hip-hop rap industry icon. Sir, welcome to the show. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
But please, let's go over your resume real quick. Who are you?
Okay.
Where can people learn if they're like, hey, who's this guy?
Well, I come from the Death Row era. I'm from Long Beach, the East Side. So basically, me, Snoop, the Dog Pound, we're all kind of like from the same family tree. I've been in the music industry since 1994. One of Snoop Dogg's proteges, which his name is Badass, he passed away 5 years ago. And he's actually one of the main reasons why I'm into this blockchain and Web3, because he came to me in a dream and gave me a whole layout. You know what I mean? But just being in the Death Row era, watching Dre leave Death Row, start Aftermath, watch Eminem come in, 50 Cent come in. So we have this NWA family bloodline, and I'm just blessed to be a part of that. You know what I mean? That whole industry, 27 plus years. So now we have tech now. So now it's like, it's a whole different vibe now. Back then, we used to be uneducated, from the streets, uneducated, didn't do nothing. The labels was robbing us the whole time. Now that I know what I know now, I'm like, oh, they've been robbing us the whole time. Like we don't own our data. We don't own nothing. Right. We're just getting used and abused and, putting all our hard work on platforms like, the platform, Spotify. I'm gonna say that. At first I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm like,
you can say it.
Be real. Yeah, Spotify and just other DSPs has been just robbing us, giving us a cent a stream, you know what I'm saying, and collecting all this data, but not sharing that data with us, you know what I mean? And that's why Voltron is kind of like here. I don't know if people understand the concept of Voltron or even that cartoon, but it's just different colors of lions coming together, forming one ecosystem to fight off the negative, you know what I mean? And that's always something from Warren G. He used to talk about the Voltron crew, it was like a Long Beach thing back in the days. And it just always resonated with me, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like now we're here, and I'm excited. I'm excited because, like I said, I met Greg and Brian and so many different people along this new journey. I feel like we can do something now. I mean, you've seen the Super Bowl. You've seen, they just, I just got the call this morning that, that was 133 million people that tuned into the Super Bowl. So that's a lot of data. You know what I mean? And can we scrape some of that data? Can we get some of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, where does that go? You know what I'm saying? So, yep. Our minds are just going and going and going and going. And I'm just trying to be a small part of everything major. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That's all. I'm like the Harriet Tubman of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell the homies, like I'm free already, but I just can't be free. I got to go back and get all the homies because unfortunately, the hip hop culture ain't really up on blockchain and tech and even the Bitcoin. There was very few people that was talking about it in 2017, 2019, which was Nipsey Hussle. He was the first person from the hood that was actually talking about Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And it's just something we got to educate our culture with, you know what I mean? And that's why I come on platforms like this so that we can, spit our truths, you know what I mean? Because we're learning too. I'm learning every day. Every day I'm learning something new, and I'm not ashamed to say I don't know everything, but I do know enough to be that person on the front line to represent our culture and go on some of these big meetings like Microsoft and some of these other big companies that's trying to do big things with our culture. But, some of the legends, they'll be like, hey, Nitty, I need you to jump on this call, man, and I'm like, don't even trip. I'm there for you. You know what I mean? So that's, that's what Frank Nitty, I'm the enforcer, you know what I'm saying? Enforcer in the community.
Love it. No, that's good stuff. When you look at the music industry, really, I mean, intellectual property in general, right? This can be movies, this is publishing, this is books going back 500 years. Like the real author, the real poet, whatever is like, we're going to throw a pen name on it. And, you're getting little to nothing on the stuff he created. And like, I'm from Chicago originally.
Okay.
And, long history of, bringing folks up like, hey, let's create rock and roll. Like, hey, sign this contract. We'll take care. Here's Cadillac, and like, and then it goes super sideways. And like, hey, like he's rich. Why am I not rich? I wrote all these songs, and that's going back almost 100 years now.
You know what? And that format has not changed because, these tech companies be like, here goes some coins, or here goes this. Like, we don't like it. It's the same thing. It's like, it's okay, cool. But man, we about the money, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, so yeah, that's unfortunately, a lot of that is starting to get exposed now because, we're starting to wake up now. You can't just take us out on a yacht and buy this expensive dinner and give us a chain and, make us feel important. Like, we don't want that no more. We want equity. You know what I'm saying? We understand the game now. You know what I'm saying? We want to be shareholders. When you eat a turkey at the plate, we want to be there too. We don't want to be tucked away in the back, where you guys are smiling, thinking about all the data you're getting and we're not getting nothing. We want direct to consumer platforms our own, so it's a good thing, because that all goes back to Voltron. That's what we're forming. It's going to be a new gang, like the Web3 gang. It's going to be something new, something beautiful, and something right. It's going to feel right. So if we decide to have our own rap Bitcoin, it's going to feel right. It's not going to feel like a cash grab, because I feel like we deserve to have our own coins, our own hip hop wallets, because our community is so large. They're saying that it's bigger than religion right now. Hip hop is, you know what I mean? But we don't own nothing. So,
well, he brings up a great point. Like, when some of these artists were signing, full 360 deals, right? They weren't imagining, a digital version of themselves or utilizing, these type of new digital technologies. And, it's unfortunate because some of those deals are lifetime deals, and, they've lost the rights of themselves. And, I think, it's one of the worst crimes in the music industry that has actually occurred, where, you may pass away and somebody will resurrect you and make some money off of you.
We're seeing that already. I mean, we saw the guy who played Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars signed his contract in the 1970s, and now they just throw a digital version of him in a movie 5 years ago, and they're just still making money on him. It doesn't go to him. They own his likeness. We're seeing the same thing with, like, hey, let's just throw Michael Jackson on stage, some 3D whatever, have him dance, and it's like it's bonkers.
And even beyond that, just trying to find, if you look at the legacy technology of where we are today. So if you're trying to find your IP rights to your song, or any due that's coming to you, it's very difficult. These systems are not integrated. They're obsolete, right? They're very niche in the sense of getting access to. And so you think of these new technologies like BSV that can provide the plumbing and infrastructure for the communication and the security and the time stamping of these contracts, right? As well as the automation.
Well, go ahead. I was just going to say, like, if you look at, you go.
All right, I was going to say, we talk a lot on this one.
That's all right.
So you got definitely three people who love to talk. So I think with, a lot of the work that Greg has been doing, not just with Frank, but with other members in the music industry to help them facilitate, utilizing AI and blockchain to understand what they're due, right? And to facilitate their IP rights and distribution. And so I think there's a full 360 in the technology, from the distribution side to actually the creation, which is partly with VoltronMusic, right? And that, as you mentioned, lends credence into movies and books and all sorts of other avenues and mediums for anybody to capitalize on. And I guess it always goes back to utilizing this technology for the three key things that it really has. Is it allows us to do things faster, cheaper, and more, right? And that's key.
Well, and so hierarchies exist when you have lots of ignorant people, and you go back 500 years where 2/3 of everybody on Earth couldn't read. They, like, all communication happened through aristocrats sending letters to each other about, like, this is why you have a managerial class for everything. But now, you see it turned into, okay, more and more people learn how to read. You get literacy. It's cheaper and cheaper to communicate. Now it's been 20 plus years since, like, Napster and some of these things started to break up and say, hey, you know what? I bought the music. I can send it to my friend over this network and this kind of thing. And now it's turned into that creator economy where, at least in the Western Hemisphere, 95% of everybody can read pretty well. Like, if you take it up to like 7th grade level, that's almost everybody can read up to like middle school level, which is enough to be functional. Put your stuff on the internet. You write a rhyme, you write a song, you can record it. Like the recording tools are free in a lot of places now too. And like you put this stuff out, you can create your own fan economy to where today, I mean, who are the biggest, most recognizable celebrities in the world? These are YouTubers. You get guys like, Logan Paul's out here fighting Mike Tyson based off of, 10 years of doing tricks on YouTube. Like, that's crazy. It's a crazy amount.
You know what? I like it. I like it because, you get no-name people, YouTube or TikTok, they got all these views and all that. But then again, you got the culture that's really ran off that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these platforms, a lot of these, they're taking the culture and doing better than we're doing at it. And that's why I'm on the front line always telling the people, the homies, like, you got to be focused, because if you don't get focused, you're going to get left behind. Because what's happening is you got these people that got patience to be able to go online, to be able to do this and do that. A lot of people don't have patience. If you talk to any legend, they'll be like, I'm not tech savvy, Nitty. I don't be on this, or I don't be on that. People, I don't be on WhatsApp. I don't do all that. But in order to do what you want to do in life, you have to do these things, you know what I mean? And that's why I love the Web3, because lazy people will get left behind. You know what I mean? I just chose not to be lazy because I know that there is a large majority of people that I know that's powerful, and I won't call them lazy. It's just they're afraid of technology in so many ways. They don't really understand it. Even with the NFTs, when the NFTs came out, you had so many people, companies was paying celebrities to lie about how much they paid millions on these NFTs. And it's like, you don't know what's real. And all they're doing is tricking a whole dedicated community of people that just want, utilities, or they want to feel involved. They want to feel important. And that's why we gotta weed out the culture vultures, because there's a lot of them out there. And one thing about me is they can't get over on me. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm that guy in the meetings, because I'm going to ask them questions that a lot of people don't ask. You either about the culture or you're trying to vulture it. There's only two ways. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make sense for all these music tech companies. They got all this bright technology, but they don't have nobody from the culture on their boards. Nothing. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But then again, they try to reach out and once again take advantage of this ecosystem that we are scattered not to have our own. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it.
Well, I think we're in a unique position in history right now, because like you have someone like Frank who's already been looking at these pieces from an intellectual standpoint before blockchain even came in, right? So he was, like he said, the protector of the community, looking out for those who maybe didn't necessarily know what contracts looks bad or what contracts looks good. And I think now with blockchain, as Bryan put it, it makes everything more efficient for everybody. We had a conference out in California a couple of years back where that was one of the talking points, is no one should be afraid of this other than people who are taking advantage of people. And if you're taking advantage of people, well, unfortunately, that's already been exposed, right? People are becoming smarter. Like you said, Kurt, YouTube has given credence to a whole lot of common folks that are actually very intelligent and are able to help to demystify the legalese and the bad contracts. Right. So now we're just getting some of these, what you said was that elite knowledge coming down to the ground level. Blockchain doesn't solve bad contracts. Right. That's where Voltron is hoping to step in, as well as like we have AI tools that will help review contracts and help to give some better contracts in favor of all parties that are involved. But we stand at a unique time period because blockchain can now, just like Bryan's talking to some of the government officials and educating on how Web3 is going to be a part of the new internet, where your keys and some of these ways of signing data is going to give accountability and traceability, not just for cybersecurity with government and these different things, but also for music digital rights management, right? So where when somebody's signing up for their Web3 keys, now they're all of a sudden having their identity keys. They could have their property rights keys, their contract keys. And now we're able to say, hey, my name is Frank Nitty. I'm signing this that is saying I represent and attest that this is ownership. These are ownership rights that I have. We just created the song. We're going to include these different owners as well in the record. But we're memorializing that with our keys. We're putting onto the blockchain. And so now you see this global notebook, this global ledger that everyone could access from any point and rely upon this piece of data, right? So whether you're Spotify, whether you're VoltronMusic, whether you're, anybody can rely upon something and say, okay, well, this pre-registered identity, they pre-registered and they uploaded it and published this song, and then at that point you could do a whole heap of things, as you know, Kurt, right? So where you sign up for the Web3 gang, and you get yourself a VIP token. You can come and get behind the VIP wall and be a part of an investor club or a discussion group, or meet this different artist. So it's just going to be exciting to see.
That access. It's that access, because one thing I do know for sure is technology and hip hop definitely goes together. It's a wedding. We just gotta form Voltron. Get Kirks. Come on, we want you involved. We want to get all the right people involved. Because we can create our own Apple. We don't need all these companies. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about us. When the fires hit LA, Spotify wasn't donating millions of dollars to our community. I was out there every single day. You know what I mean? A lot of these platforms is making billions, not millions, billions of dollars off our culture was not there at all. And what they did was they did a concert, and I had to get involved with that, because I feel like you can't get millions of dollars from the world, and we don't have the culture involved with nothing to do with music, and you're trying to give back to the community that got burnt the most, which is the entertainment community. It was hell on earth out here. You know what I'm saying? Where was these companies at? Where was these companies at? Where was, I'm not going to even say no names until the music come out, because we are going to have a project that's going to be talking about this. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to get a whole album when you come to Voltron, and you're going to hear your favorite legends and your favorite celebrities actually having skits talking about it. We may need you to get on here, Kurt, you know what I mean? And you do a skit before a song, you know what I mean? Because we want all kind of different entities involved with this project, because Voltron is another word for unity. It's just more in a clever way, and Unity Music, VoltronMusic, it all aligns. So I just feel like the more I'm on platforms like this and people can see that it is possible, I think that it's going to spread within our community, and people are going to start wanting to learn. We have all the right tools. We have everything that we need to learn. You know what I mean? And it's okay to learn, because this is the future. And no matter what people say, you can't hide from this. AI is here now. I had a debate with one of my friends, because we started a voice cloning company called Vocal Roots AI, and it's strictly to preserve the hip hop legend. We just launched a website, so Vocal Roots AI, that's what it is. And we have a voting process where you can vote what legend that you want to come back to life. And what we do is we go to the estate, and we bring them back to life in different forms and fashions. You know what I mean? We're also going to be doing a big Day of the Dead concert at the Sphere. So we're going to bring everybody back and bring that innovation back to the community and do something that hasn't been done before. You know what I mean? The ethical way, not the other way. It has to be ethical. You know what I mean? We want people to smile and have fun. Like the metaverse, they had a bad name on it, many years ago. People forgot about the metaverse, then they went to AI and all these different, but you know what? The metaverse is a beautiful place, because if we really had a real hip hop metaverse or something like that, people like Kendrick Lamar could have said, hey, come to the metaverse, the after party in the metaverse, boom, and everything just would have shot up. But if these metaverses quit being so greedy and quit being, getting us in and charging $100,000 for land and all this weird stuff, like, man, we can't do it like that. We have the technology to digital twin every city on the West Coast, on the East Coast. Them same companies have the same business, and we can have a whole digital aspect of everything, a whole digital experience. You know what I mean? Now you can come meet the Snoops and all the people that you may like, more comfortable. Snoop could be at home chilling,
For sure.
we could give him a hologram box and you could buy the hologram box. There's so much going on right now. I'm just loving it right now. I'm not lying. The innovation it just got me motivated. And every time I see somebody from the hood or see somebody in the studio, the first thing I say is, hey, you know about blockchain? You know about Bitcoin? Nah, Bitcoin too high. Well, Nipsey was telling y'all a long time ago when it was 1,000 a coin. Now you can't even buy it now unless you got some real money.
Right.
So that's why I say, imagine if we had wrap Bitcoin, even if we had it as a meme coin until we get the right liquidity involved. And then now we can have our own wrap Bitcoin concerts, our own merch. You could buy albums, you can do this and that with our own digital currency. Like I would love that idea. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at with it right now. And I just can't wait for the people to hear the new music we got online. We got this Voltron anthem that's coming. Of course, we're going to NFT that. We might even do a 6-4 raffle off. I'm trying to just sit back and get my mind. But I want to give back to the people. And I want not just the tech culture, but I want the hip-hop culture to know that AI, blockchain, Web3, all that is beautiful if you got beautiful people behind it. You know what I mean? People that have a clear conscience that want to see good. We could start a health coin. We could start there's so much we could do involving the tech, man. And I am excited. I wake up earlier than ever before because I feel like, there's people overseas and I gotta be up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm on the West Coast, but I'd be so excited. Like my girl be like, you need to go to bed, like get some sleep. And I'm like, man, I got this meeting and they get up early. Right. So I gotta be up at 4 or 5
a.m. in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be up early. So, I'm flowing off just a lot of great energy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm excited for what we're gonna bring to the table,
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit of nuts and bolts. Like Voltron conceptually, like, I mean, first of all, I love the name because I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. For me, I'm like instantly, cartoon lions coming together, defend the universe. And I'm like, oh yeah, I loved that show when I was a cool, like 10-year-old or whatever. But let's talk about like, what does it mean, in practicality? Is Voltron an app? Is it a community? Is it like, maybe this is a Brian question or a Greg question, but can we get into?
It's an ecosystem.
I would say it's all the above what you just said, right? It is an app, right? It's where you're going to come and you're going to get sets of keys, right? That are going to be, as you hear Smart Ledger work on things, they're going to be universally utilizable throughout different applications. But you're going to have your keys that you're going to then be able to utilize for various purposes. Like we said, you could just simply sign publishing rights to different digital rights management portions. You could utilize AI within the app to help you with your music company or your music content or your social media marketing. But the goal is also, like you said, to have a community where folks can come together and empower each other first and foremost, right? I think that's what I want to point out. Really, I was thinking a second ago is I want to point out about Frank and why I think we also get along so well is we're so excited about the technology, and of course, Kurt, that like we know the scalability of BSV allows for this technology to enter into a really something that could change lives and can change, the world. And just like Frank said, you could take and you can create a hip hop Bitcoin on it, or a token that does this and this and this. We can now create property rights management on this and utilize, as we've heard people say, this 2 cents Coca-Cola model where you could take and you can create business models using this blockchain, right? People, and Frank made a good point. People are like chasing, oh man, I missed the boat on Bitcoin. No, you didn't miss the boat you might have missed the boat on BTC and this particular commodity, that particular version, but the protocol and with the technology, the blockchain, it's changing lives, right? We're having fun. And I think, and we could wrap any other coin, any other token inside of BSV and Bitcoin, and we could utilize it. The purpose is we have a global ledger to provide not only accounting for this music industry and for participants therein, and very cheap and extremely efficiently, But I want to point out it's so much more than that. It's bringing the celebration back to the streets, right? As you know, Frank was the first one I saw on the streets helping people in the LA fires, right? It's less about the technology, more about the celebration. We're finally able to celebrate again because we have a technology that can help us to come together and start to have fun again. And it's just
and you know what it is too, Kurt, too? It's like it's like going into a mall. You know, when you go shopping in the mall, you go in the mall and there's so many different stores in this mall. Like there's food, there's entertainment, there's clothes, there's merch. That's what Voltron is, because now I just told a legend he has a platform. We're going to all merge it into one. So when you come here, it's like a one-stop shop for entertainment, you know, technology. You know, you could go into a concert now. You know, we have our own hip hop domain. You know, so now we don't have to use .com. You could use .hip hop now. You know, we're going to start rolling that out, where I would advise everybody to go get you a .hip hop domain, because that's going to be something big once we get all the legends behind that also. So we're just basically trying to cornerstone the culture, you know, and have it more protected, you know, a place that we could call home. You know what I mean? If you want to network, if you want to have whatever, if you want to invest, if you got, for any other hip hop people out there that want to invest, you know what I mean? Come through there, because we got a little investor section pretty soon, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a fun place to go to. Like how you said earlier, you know, I used to watch Voltron. Well, now you're going to be able to watch it in real time, and you're also going to be able to constantly tune in to this channel, because it's always going to have something that's innovative. You know what I mean? Always, you know, learning, you know, we can learn, you know, we can have certain little classes in there where we're teaching the culture. Like, I think we should have more legends pop up, so we're teaching them, because they really want to learn. They just want to learn in a cool way, and they don't want to feel stupid. You know what I mean? So I'm always going to smile, even if somebody's stupid or not. I'm going to smile, you know, but I have my way of talking to our people and our culture, and we mix that with tech. You know, if there's something I don't know, then boom, Kirk, you hit him. You don't know, boom, Greg, you hit him. Brian, you hit him. And we all just tag teaming and really creating the ultimate ecosystem that's authentic. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of platforms. Don't get me wrong, I know them all, because they all want me involved, you know, some form of fashion. But you got to be authentic. You know, you got to be authentic with this, man, because people are going to feel that from the heart and the soul, you know, and that's what Voltron's going to bring to the table, you know. And I'm aligned with so many different other companies, so I'm just going to bring everything into one, and then boom, it's just going to be the place to be, you know.
I like that. No, it's really smart. We got so we're about halfway through the show right now. I can see we got a bunch of starred questions, so let's start bringing some questions from the audience, and we'll answer them as they come. So, Mr. Producer, let's start firing away on some of those. See how queued up he is.
You know, I want to add while we're waiting, Kurt.
He says he's having audio problems, having trouble hearing me. So,
I was going to say, while we're waiting, you know, Brian has been doing a lot of work on Capitol Hill and working with lawmakers, and we just got back from a demo day in Richmond, Virginia. And I think it ties hand in hand, because you have two sides of this wonderful thing that's just a global ledger, right? Which is you're able to now showcase what it's able to do for cybersecurity, for government, and now what you're able to do for the music industry. But it comes down to, you know, the so-called little folks at the ground who have been unable to access, you know, good technology to navigate rights and different things. But I don't know if while we're waiting, if Brian wants to speak on any of that.
No, I think the biggest thing here is that the technology is the communication layer, right? I mean, it's the great uniter and the great equalizer in many ways. And if Nitty is successful, he's able to, you know, really safeguard at least a portion of runway for a culture to remain authentic and true to itself. Because what has typically happened, right, has been, you know, large companies that come in, find a trend or you know, something that is trendy, and they adopt it and commercialize it. And those originators, those creators, rarely get compensated for it.
Right.
And I think that this, again, whether you're talking about taxpayers paying into their income tax and not really understanding where that's going, if it's even going to anything.
Turns out it's going to a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, right. But I mean, again, this is a great technology to reduce fraud, improve transparency and auditability. And whether you're talking about music or government, I mean, these systems are legacy systems that are primarily held back from innovations that demonstrate this type of efficiency. So
for sure. Here's a good question to kick us off for Frank. How are the artists responding to the tech, and how much pushback from the established industry? It seems like it should be a sure thing. I think that's a two-part problem, right? You got the artists. I think the artists would trust you if they know you. That should be easy. But then you're gonna have the industry guy, the lawyers, the guys that work inside of Geffen Records or whatever else, saying like, "Ooh, no, But what is their take?"
Well, I think the artists are excited about tech. They just don't know who to trust. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like every music tech company needs a Frank Nitty on their team somewhere. I don't know if it's an advisor, a co-founder, whatever it is. You need a Frank Nitty because we can relate to our own. And I think me being in the industry like I am with the tech industry, I think people are starting to see that, because now I'm behind the scenes. I'm displaying what it is. I'm creating voice cloning companies, and I've already got permission from the estate and bringing people back to life, and it's blowing people's minds. And they're like, wow, Nitty, but as far as the big guys, they don't want this. They're scared of Web3, and to be honest, in them contracts with a lot of them artists, it doesn't say anything about Web3. That's a whole different world. It doesn't say nothing about blockchain. So is that a conflict of interest? Do they want to try to stop people like Nitty from talking because they know the influence that I have within the culture? Especially in the Black and brown community. They know I'm powerful out here on these streets. But I've paid the work, and this is my new mission. And some of the legend homies that I feel are getting robbed, which many of them are, they're getting robbed for the IPs and they don't even know it. They're throwing them crumbs, taking their IP and getting $200-300 million because they got this IP and they just gave the homie $1 million and he thinks that's cool. No, that's not. You don't have no equity, nothing. No. We gotta sit back at the table. Get them back on the phone. Let me talk to them, because they don't know the lingo. You know what I mean? So yeah, the higher elite definitely don't like educated culture in the tech. So that's why Voltron is here.
So that brings up another question, and maybe let me know if I'm stepping in it by asking, but. Growing up, I remember the big East Coast, West Coast thing was real rough in the 90s. Then it seemed like calmed down in the 2000s. I think once everybody started to, make their own empires and, people chill out a little bit. But is there still, I'm thinking about, what's happened to P. Diddy and Jay-Z and some of the stuff that's happened over the last year or so. How much drama, if any, is still there? Or can you guys chat? Can you guys make that work?
No, as far as East Coast and West Coast, that wasn't really a East Coast, West Coast issue. It was Tupac and Biggie. You know what I mean? And that's really what it was. And everybody that was aligned with them, everybody had each other's back at some point. But that was like you said, the 90s. That was many, many years ago. So time has evolved. People have died. Unfortunately, it's sad. But on the flip side, I feel like this is something we could learn from, because at the end of the day, we're all powerful. Do you know what would happen if Drake, Lil Wayne, Kendrick, Dre, everybody, I'm talking about everybody, came together and created their own hip hop blockchain or created their own Voltron, you know what I'm saying? And we all put our music on our own DSP, our own direct to consumer. Do you know how we'll just change the whole game and everybody just leave all these DSPs and leave them alone, boycott them? We could boycott Spotify. I got a few plans coming. You know what I mean? We got a song called "The Death of Spotify" coming soon, and we're gonna explain the reason why. And all we got to do is tell the truth. We don't have to bash nobody. But I just think, going back to your question, I just think that things are getting better. For reals, it's getting better. There's more collaborations. it's not how it was. And the 90s was hell. That's why I'm blessed to say that I survived the death row era. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I survived all that with no scratches. You know what I mean? I had no scratches, and I'm just I'm excited to see, you know, and that's why I say we have to stand up as the frontliners to educate the young generation, because at the end of the day, they have the youth. You know what I mean? A lot of the legends, they got health problems now. You know, they're not going to put that out there, but, you know, they done drunk so much in their past, their liver shot. You know what I mean? They trying to perform with gray hairs and shit. Like, the new generation don't want to see that. They want to see, you know, not that there's nothing wrong with it, because, you know, I'm 90s to the core, but for the new generation, they look at it like, I don't want to see my grandpa performing on stage. You know?
Oh, for sure.
They want to see their own. They want to see the youngsters. So we have to, you know, implant that inside these youngsters, so now they can talk this in the music, and it'll live on. You know what I mean? It'll live on, because one thing about music is never gonna go nowhere. They may try to take it from it because AI is coming in, and now you can prompt songs now. And I'm always constantly having. You know what? I hate when somebody that's not involved with, I won't say hate, but I dislike when somebody that tries to battle me with an AI song. Like, look at this song. Like, they try to act like they made it, right? And I'm like, you know, my ears are so in tune. I'm like, come on, bro, you didn't make this.
I have to confess, Kurt, that's usually he's talking about me. So I have to hold my own in the circle. So
well, that's so. I mean, I write for a living. I do media for a living, and I can tell immediately. Like, if I'll put a video on, and I can hear, like, if the script, because there's those little tells about AI, you know, like it likes certain phrasing, and so if I hear one of those phrases, I'm like, I'm shutting it off. I'm not listening.
It's a beacon of truth, right? Like,
but you know, the thing is it's a beautiful thing to me. It's just how you promote it. Like me, I think it's cool to help with writer's block. You know, sometimes artists get it. Maybe not saying that you would use that, but you could use maybe ideas and concepts. Use it as a tool. You know what I mean? But don't try to come to Frank Nitty and like you wrote this shit and then say, hey, listen to my new single. And I'm like, come on, bro. Come on. You know what I mean? So,
AI is so good for helping you, like, outline. For me, that's the most useful thing, is like, okay, I want to talk about this and this and this. Like, what order should I put this stuff in? And then it'll give me an outline, and then I'll write it out. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was helpful. But
you got to make it fun, though. You got to make it, as long as this is my thing. And I'm going to try it myself. You know, I'm already working on the first AI hip hop album from a dead legend, which is badass. But my thing is, just be real. If it's AI, just say, hey, listen to the song I did with AI. Man, we freaked it like this. We did it like that. So, you know what I mean? Because there's people that's dead that they can use AI and actually help fund their family, you know, pay their rent. You know, a lot of legends died and have kids. How are we going to keep them going? You know what I mean? We actually can create them a hologram, create them an avatar, a faceless YouTube channel, having them talk, clone their voice the authentic way. You know what I mean? Get permission. You know, there's people that's using Tupac's voice right now. Didn't get up this stage.
Even beyond that, just getting the rights to some of these artists who have passed away. Like, I could only imagine how much Big Pun or Biggie has, you know, accumulated and may not have been dispensed across his family or the rights holders, right? And that's, you know, again, we want to cut into those core issues that are really barriers to, you know, anybody capitalizing on the work that they've done.
Well, there's lots of groups out there too. I mean, you know, I feel like every few years you get like, oh man, there's a Nirvana track that just got out of legal hawk, and like here, like new single from Nirvana, and it's like, wait, really? Like, how long has that been? You know, and that happens often.
You know, they just submitted the Beatles. The Beatles they use AI to help with one of their songs. I'm not sure if they won or not. I think they probably won, but if they didn't win, it's just a start of what can happen. Because you can't, I love it because I got a voice cloning company, Vocal Roots AI now. So I love the fact that we can actually use AI, voice cloning, however we're using it, the authentic way, and be able to help. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you guys heard the song. You might want to go do your research. But man, it's it's crazy. It's coming. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to this investor. I want to do a AI Grammy Award. I want to do an AI BET Award and start using that. You know what I mean? Because it's a beautiful thing. And I would say, damn, should I say this concept? No, damn.
Keep it.
I'll
keep
save
it.
For the
We'll
website.
have you back.
I'll save it for the website.
We'll have you back on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll save it for the website. But it's definitely going to be man versus machine is what I will say. But
Nice.
we'll load it up on VoltronMusic, and then it's going to be something mind blowing that's never ever happened before. And now that I understand infrastructure, how tech is ran with the AI and all that stuff, and in the chat GPT and all that, there's going to be a brand new twist. You know what I mean? Can you imagine having a Tupac hip hop chat GPT where it's our voices, so we don't have to, you know what I mean? If you want to hear Pac talking to you, or Eazy-E, or like you said, the big puns and the homies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Talking to you, giving you game. You know, those are some of the ideas and where my head is
awesome.
with AI. To make it fun, we should have it fun, man. We should have it fun.
And like Frank said, it's know the difference, right? And enjoy all the really creative and cool things that AI is capable of doing when you plug it in and put it together in the right ways. Like Frank said, we got some exciting things with battling between AI and so it's just exciting to see. But really, I think the main thing is to recognize all the creativity that's been in humanity and is in humanity. I mean, when you like Frank said, don't come to me and say, hey, I wrote this. No, don't. If you didn't write it, you didn't write it. But
that's blasphemy. That's blasphemy.
Yeah, because there are people right now who are just, amazing, right? Just prodigies, just incredible rappers who have spent really a lot of time honing their skills, right? So don't pretend with this, but at the same time, let's acknowledge the fun and the amazing qualities of what AI is producing too. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really beat my Suge Knight therapist, right?
There you go. Just getting dangled, yeah. So here's Crypto Spartacus asking, where can I get one of those VoltronMusic hoodies? And frankly, I want one too. I don't wear hoodies down here in South Florida. I would wear the hat.
Yeah, we got the merch. We're gonna have the merch on the website real soon. Yep.
Okay, cool.
It's gonna be great. We're gonna have different colors too. That way you could be the yellow lion, the black lion, the red lion, all colors of the rainbow.
Love it. Oh, that sounds great. I like colors, so I'm looking forward to that. So all right, we got about 12 minutes left. Where else do we want to take this? I saw a couple questions here in the chat about like, hey, how easy is this to port over to something like movies and other types of publishing and that kind of stuff? Do you want to focus like a laser beam on the music industry, or is this an idea that you want to just throw this out?
It's everything because like I said, even with the Super Bowl, the numbers of that, just focusing on music it'll be done to just focus on music. You know what I mean? I just got one of my guys. We're trying to do take some of these movies from some of the legends and do cartoons, digital cartoons, like Bone Thugs and Harmony, and, taking the Eazy-E, the NWA movie, and do a digital twin cartoon of that. And now we can actually use the voice cloning to bring Eazy-E's voice back to life and bring other legends back to life and create a whole saga. You know what I mean? I got a meeting with Hulu very, very soon about doing a series, a cartoon series of the hip hop, and then we're going one of the big things I'm doing now is the Web3 gang. So for those that don't know, when I first got into the Web3 space, I immediately started a Web3 gang, and that's kind of like a bloodline, you know what I mean? And you'll be able to get some of that merch too, and just learn more about that. But we're gonna dominate the whole culture of all angles, from merch to music to movies to cartoons. We're going to have our own version of 11 Labs, but just with our own twist. Everything that you see out there, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have our own direct-to-consumer platform. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to come with more utilities. We're going to have our own Rap Bitcoin that we're working on. You can actually go on rapbitcoin.com or go to VoltronMusic. It's going to be a whole ecosystem. So in about a month, you're going to see everything. I'm talking about legends. Everybody's going to be tied in. We're going to do Voltron concerts in the real world and the digital world. so you can get that experience. And that's really it's about with us, man. It's just about experience and bringing fun back to the game, because tech is so beautiful. You know what I mean? It just you got to know who's who. You don't know who's who, and everybody's fighting to compete against each other. Why? You know, how come all the coins just trying to get all these people to buy their coins? How come y'all don't come together and we do one big concert at the Sphere or something? You know, let's all give options. You know, when you go to like going back to the mall, when you go into the mall, you got all kind of food options, you got clothes options, but we're all together. We're all in the same ecosystem. Why are we fighting each other? It makes no sense to me. So that's where, you know, that's where we're going to come in. We're going to change it up. I'm going to be at all these different events, these tech events. I'm going to be the new Gary V. You know what I'm saying? I'm the new Gary V.
I like
you
it.
know, I'm the new Gary V.
Hey, I wanted to point out also that, like, to reiterate that this is the tech, right? First of all, like anyone who's out there, whether you're Spotify or Netflix, whatever, if you need the technology that works, Voltron can bring it to you, right? Because we are looking to service the industry as a whole, and it's not about, you know, I mean, people making BSV as payments or anything specific like that. It's about taking and reinventing the industry so we can keep track of payments, right? So now we don't have to push out your Bitcoin, BTC, or your Solana, or your different other things that people love. Everybody can love what they love, right? The goal is to bring everyone to the table and let them interact in transparent and traceable ways. And now we could use BSV, which is the most scalable protocol, to actually track and trace these things. And just like as Frank said, have fun doing it, right? And so anybody out there who needs services, reach out to Frank, reach out to Smart Ledger.
Yeah, anything you need, man, holler at me, because I'm very accessible. I'm not like the Hollywood. I'm not like a lot of people, you know, that's in this music industry. I'm far from it. I'm actually against it. You know what I mean? And when I get around them, I clown them, because it makes no sense to be Hollywood. We have to be accessible. That's the only way the culture is going to move forward. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm always here. So definitely follow up, man. VoltronMusic, everything that I'm going to be doing, you'll be able to find it there. You know, definitely get your clothes, take a picture, show me you rocking with it. We got some new music, you know, that's going to be on the way. That's pretty much, it's going to be mind blowing. I'm telling you, it's going to be something that's completely different. You know what I mean? And be on the lookout for the death of Spotify. You know what I mean? That's going to be an NFT, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to break down the whole timeline of Spotify from when they tricked the culture to bring it in to ended up doing what they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't get their stuff right, if they don't get their stuff right, they will be, they'll be ran over easy.
Yeah. Good.
Easy. Yeah.
That's great. Well, and we've seen so much that when you really democratize this stuff, right? You start getting people out of their, well, my manager says I got to do that. I got to go on tour with this group who, I don't know if they're my people, and all this stuff. But now any kid can create from their home. Like you can create from the tools. You can self-publish. You can start pushing out there. And we've been doing this kind of stuff for pretty long time. It's maturing rapidly now, where again, you're big celebrities. You got guys walking around. Scared. Right.
Goodbye, labels. Goodbye. Right. See you guys later. You guys got a lot of money from us. We're educated now. The youngsters don't sign to no label. Don't sign to no label. Don't. You don't have to.
That's the beauty of it. Like they don't even think label.
Yeah. Make them sponsor you. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Right. They're going to need you at some point, because if you got a following, that means you got data. And if we Voltron all of our ecosystem and Voltron all of our data, then nobody will be able to stop us, because we have all the biggest IPs connected to us. We're dominant. We're just dominant. And that's what we're going to do. We're coming in this game. We're moving it. And we know how to play chess very, very well. There's very few people that can say checkmate to us. And we're gonna prove it, you know what I mean? And it's fun right now. It's a fun time right now.
Very cool. All right. Any final words? I gotta take a couple of things, talk to sponsors and some other stuff. But final word, I'm happy to give to any one of you three or all three. Maybe you prepare to rap to close us out. By all means, floor is yours, guys.
Man, Smart Ledger, shout outs to them. You know what I'm saying? VoltronMusic and just everybody in the hip hop culture. Shouts out to Kendrick Lamar for creating history. Y'all make sure y'all go get the Kendrick Lamar GNX album. is doing tremendous numbers. I got a young artist that I've been developing since 13. His name is Young Grady. He's named after me. We're going to make him a Web3 star. No labels, no Interscope, no none of that. It's going to be strictly Web3. And
Nice.
if you know, so and get your hip hop domain, .hip hop, go to .hip hop, go get that domain. Make sure you get your domain, because everybody that got a domain, we're going to give you special access to a lot of things, man. So y'all be on the lookout, and we here, baby.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Brian, Greg.
I'll throw in, coming across the likes of Frank and so many others that just have this incredible energy, right? And it's aligned to almost this golden time that we're really in, where everything seems to be aligning for, the positive light and truth that we've all been fighting for, right? And I think, it's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be in this space. It's a great time to get involved in this space, and just empower one another. And like you always say, be kind to one another, right?
And then if you can, let's somebody take a screenshot of all of us, because this is going to be history. We're gonna and send it to me.
All right, I'm ready. Big smiles.
All right, I think I got it.
Yeah. All right,
You
cool.
got it? Okay.
Gentlemen, you guys are great. Greg, any final words?
It's just a pleasure to be on the call, guys. Really looking forward to what we do with Frank, and it's gonna, this is a long-term vision and a long-term plan. So I mean, again, reach out to us and let's do this together. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
That's what Voltron's about.
Yep. Gentlemen, thanks so much. Really pleasure to meet you, Frank. Good to see you, Brian and Greg.
Likewise.
We'll talk soon.
Thank
Good to see you guys. Cheers.
All right, see you guys.
Go.
All righty. As we dip those fine gentlemen out, we're going to be doing the comment of the day, who will win a pack from Champions TCG, the delightful sponsor of the show, who just penned a deal. Looks like with the Hand Cash folks. Looks like Hand Cash and Champions TCG are going to be doing a joint venture. So maybe we should also be thanking Hand Cash for everything they make possible here. But let's choose a comment of the day. Mr. Producer, I think he's got one that he is pretty excited about. Who we got? Who is it? What's it going to be? There you go, Crypto Spartacus. Actually, we got to get you on the show. I know we talked about having you on the show, so let's make that happen. If you could reach out to the real CoinGeek account, we'll get you on the calendar to have you on the show. But now you can reach out and ask for your Champions TCG cards. Just have your Hand Cash handle ready to rock and roll. It'll be sent out courtesy of the Champions TCG folks. And we also have to thank our longtime sponsor, Rockwallet, the most exciting non-custodial wallet, but also has built-in custodial trading among Bitcoin and your forks and your stable coins and Ethereum and a couple other randoms. And I think coming soon, the money stablecoin native to Bitcoin SV, which I'm pretty excited about too. So everybody, it has been an awesome show. I am a child of the 90s, and so every time I get to talk to somebody about how crazy the 90s were, it's a good time for me. I was talking at the gym last night about they were asking me about the Super Bowl, and I was like, yeah, I watched, but what do I care about Philadelphia and Kansas City? It's not really my scene, right? So I had it on in the background, and I told him, I'm ruined. I grew up in Chicago in the 90s, so I mean, getting to be part of the Chicago Bears culture at my birth, and then the Chicago Bulls during the greatest run in basketball history. For me, it's all sports are a little bit little dimmer by comparison to the sports culture of my childhood, but it's fun to reminisce. I think everybody likes to talk about the 90s as the best decade ever. I think it might have been the peak of American civilization was whatever happened directly before 9/11, at which point it's been a little weird ever since, but we're bringing it back, everybody. We're recreating and maybe creating for the first time the real ownership economy, using technology to let people own digital property and then ultimately let that extend out into the real world so they can be their own creator, be their own boss, be their own bank. and be good to each other. So everybody, thank you so much for watching the show. It really means a lot to me. I would not be doing anything else with my time if I somehow got canceled at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. I would just have this hole where my heart used to be. It'd be shaped like this, and I would be forever upset. So thank you for your likes, subscriptions, your smashing that alert bell. That is not the way the professionals say it, but I'm doing my best. 90s hairstyles are still cool. Thank you, Gavin Mail, for keeping it real. This guy knows when culture peaked, and he is not going to change. Everybody, I didn't have much of a choice. My genetics decided that I would have this haircut for the rest of my life. So everybody, all right, we're wrapping up. I'm Kurt Wuckert Jr. It's been a real pleasure. Seriously, go out there, be good to each other, build something valuable, and make the world a better place. It's the only way to do it. So that's it. I'm going to wrap up. This is the end of the show. Goodbye.